Hey everybody, welcome back to Headlocks and Hot Packs. Eric here in the wrestling room. If you're a returning viewer, you know that I'm a big sports fan. Outside of wrestling, probably my forte would be basketball. And a couple of weeks back, this is the NBA's 75th year, they released the 75th anniversary team. So, there was a lot of debate, who got snubbed, who should have been on the list, who should not have been on the list. Today, I'm going to break down who makes my 75th anniversary team. So hopefully everybody will stick around, and we will get right into that. But first, of course, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel for sure. So without any further ado, who did I put on the 75th anniversary team, in my opinion? First off, if you have not seen the selections for the NBA's best 75 players, here those are. I definitely have a few disagreements with the results, especially having 76 because of voting. Starting off, I do agree with leaving all 50 members of the NBA's 50th anniversary team in place, so that's all I'm going to do as well. If you ask me, those guys were good enough to make that team, and so I'm not going to revise history. I'm just going to add to it. So right off the hop, we're down to 25 spots left for my team. Those jackets are dope AF, by the way. So let's kick off with my first choices, the group I'm calling Captain Obvious. These guys are clear choices for the team, whether it be by leading their teams to titles, being generational talents, or just dominating the game in general. There's very little, if any, argument against them. So for that reason, I'm not going to be diving too deeply into these picks. And officially joining my roster, in no particular order, are LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, Dwayne Wade, Allen Iverson, Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Steve Nash, James Harden. That's 14 down, leaving us with 11. So once again, in no particular order, here's who makes the cut for me. Human highlight film was easily the biggest snub from the 50th anniversary team, so we won't waste any time in correcting that. Again, we're not changing the 50th anniversary roster, just adding to it. This thunderous dunker was the Atlanta Hawks for 12 of his 15 seasons, wowing audiences and fellow players alike on his way to 9 All-Star teams, 7 All-NBAs, a scoring title in 1986, and a generation of players who grew up idolizing him on his way to the Basketball Hall of Fame. Arguably the best defensive point guard in NBA history, the glove will always be synonymous with the Seattle Supersonics, despite earning an NBA title later in his career with the Miami Heat. The 9-time All-Star, All-NBA team 8 times, 9-time All-Defensive team was one of the staples of the Sonics finals run in '96. The same year he led the league in steals and earned Defensive Player of the Year honors. Don't let this perimeter lockdown specialist fool you though, as he could also get a bucket averaging 19 or more points in 9 seasons. Another Basketball Hall of Famer. Sticking with our theme of Basketball Hall of Famers, here's another that I'm adding to the roster in the sharpshooting Miller. The former all-time NBA leader in threes, Reggie's entire 18-year career was spent in Indiana, something you definitely don't see these days. Like Gary Payton, Reggie would also make deep playoff runs with his Pacers, getting as far as the finals in 2000 but coming up short to Shaq's Lakers. Prior to Steph Curry, many would probably have told you that Miller is the greatest shooter of all time, as evidenced by his 93-94 season when he joined the 50-40-90 club. Today only 10 players in history are in this club, including fellow 75th anniversary members Durant, Curry, Bird, Nowitzki, and Nash. I'll turn the clock forward to keep the younger audience for my next pick, Carmelo Anthony. There was a time not too long ago where you'd be surprised to think he's still in the league today, but great scorers are still great scorers as evidenced by Melo seemingly beating Father Time. A 10-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA teamer, and 2013 scoring champion is now and has always been a walking bucket. Currently, Anthony is 9th on the all-time scoring list and could keep climbing by the time he hangs his jersey up. The most explosive guard I've ever seen, Russ's pure athleticism is what sets him apart and helps earn him a spot on my 75th anniversary team. He may not have a ring, but he certainly got hardware, including a 2017 NBA MVP, 9 All-Star appearances, 9 All-NBA teams, 2 scoring titles, 3 assist titles, and the only guy since Oscar Robertson to average a triple-double in a season. By the way, he's done it 3 times now. Enough said. We're throwing it back again for the next man and also rewarding defense, choosing possibly the best defensive player and rebounder in the history of the league. Dennis Rodman's off-court antics often outshined what he did on the court, which was all about sacrifice, effort, and positioning when the whistle blew. You don't have to like the guy, but 5 NBA titles, 2 Defensive Player of the Years, 7 rebounding crowns, 2 All-Star nods, and 8 All-Defensive Team selections were enough to earn him a spot in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And that also earns him a spot on my 75th anniversary squad. You may or may not be old enough to remember, but the NBA once had an affliction, a virus that it couldn't seem to shake. And no, this isn't a reference to present day, but at one point the league was infested with Vince-sanity. Vince Carter would begin leaving Jaws dropped in 1998, joining a still young Raptors franchise that was struggling. He became a face of the team, and it's possible they might not even be in Toronto today if not for Vince's rise in popularity. The 8-time All-Star is one of only 6 players in history to average 20 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, and 3 assists per game for 10 straight seasons. This high flyer definitely deserves a spot on my team. Another snub from the official NBA 75th anniversary team. I picture Clay chilling at his house with his 3 rings saying, "Really?" As mentioned, this 3-time NBA champion is considered the Pippen to Curry's Jordan, but Clay is probably better than Pippen, to be honest. Another deadly 3-point shooter, Thompson's defense may be just as deadly. The 5-time All-Star is also considered by some as the best shooter of all time, alongside his teammate Curry. And it seems he might have been forgotten just because of his last couple seasons being injury-plagued. Yeah, I hear the groan. Some of you are going to say this is the Celtics fan in me, but he made the official list and therefore Paul Pierce is making mine. It's counterintuitive to our exercise today, but what more can I say besides NBA champion, Finals MVP, 10-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, 2nd all-time leading scorer in Celtics franchise history. So what about that last accolade, you might say? Keep in mind, this is the most storied franchise in NBA history with 11 players on the official NBA 75th team that spent most of their career in Boston. So there's that. When he came into the league, you could have just called him Asin Kid because he had absolutely no J. The passing specialist led the league in assists 5 times, including 3 straight years, but is another guard who some forget was a great defender. In addition to dishing the dimes, Kid won an NBA title in 2011 after years of coming up short, including 2 finals runs with the Nets in 02 and 03. This 10-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA teamer, 9-time All-Defensive Team, and Basketball Hall of Famer is 2nd on the NBA's all-time assist list and 2nd on the NBA's all-time steals list. Lastly, but certainly not least for me when it comes to selections for this team, comes the towering center from Congo, Dikembe Mutombo. The 7'2" Georgetown product is a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, winning 3 of those in the 90s at a time when you had guys in the league like Rodman, Gary Payton, David Robinson, and other elite stoppers, not to mention Hakeem Olajuwon. Mutombo's impact during 18 seasons on the floor, especially defending the paint, pushed the 8-time All-Star and Basketball Hall of Famer, and his finger wag, into things like Geico commercials, while his humanitarian work pushed him to special invites from the President of the United States in 2007 to be recognized for his work. Oh yeah, he's also 2nd all-time in career blocks. Okay everybody, that's my list. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Who should I have left off? Who should I not have put on? let me know in the comments down below. And again, we will hopefully bring more content like this. So please, thumbs up and subscribe once again. Again, this is Eric, Headlocks and Hot Packs. A little Joey from Full House there for you. Cut it out. We are piecing it out.